G'day. Well, here we are on the first day of our trip to Birdsville. We've set up here in Bollon by the beautiful Windorah Creek. I'll take you for a walk down there in a second. But we're on our way to Birdsville via Thargomindah, the Dig Tree, and a couple of other places that we'll see along the way. How's the serenity at Windorah Creek, Bollon?
The Paru River. Grid. There's a grid.
So here we are at Lake Bindigolli. Not much of a lake. And we're going to have some lunch just outside of Thargomindah. And then we'll keep on heading towards Inaminka. Not sure how well you could see it, but there is more water over that way for Lake Bindigolli.
vehicle. Hit a animal. We're just west of the South Jackson oil field, heading for where, Dale?
The Dig Tree.
Yep. Going through an area that's designated as Strzelecki Desert, and she's pretty sparse. No, there's a cattle yard set. Out of the Strzelecki Desert.
Coming in on the Dig Tree Road now, and tomorrow we'll go out with caution on Araburi Road north to Birdsville. Well, here we are at the Dig Tree, Cooper Creek there behind me, behind Dad. Our camping setup. And the Dig Tree is just behind me over that way. So yeah. And this is Cooper Creek. Very pretty. If you're a jolly swagman, you'd definitely camp in a place like this, wouldn't you? We're sitting here having breakfast while the sun comes up, and the whistling kites have invaded our space, but they probably won't say anything now. Here comes one. Okay, we're at the dig tree, and the expedition camped here in 1860 on the bank of the Cooper Creek. They called it Camp 65, and then Burke and Wills and two other guys went to the Gulf of Carpentaria, and then the rest of the team stayed here, and they waited for months for the golf party to return, and then they departed on the 21st of April 1861. They carved the word dig into a tree to indicate hidden stores. And just 9 hours later, the golf party returned to an empty camp. I talk about comedy of errors, but Gray had died, Burke and Wills and King too tired and hungry to pursue the party that had just left, and they both died, Burke and Wills, and only King survived after being looked after by the Aboriginal people. So yeah, all the rest of that is interesting information. As much as I say a comedy of errors, 9 hours after the party had left, they returned back to camp. I think I failed to understand the extremities and the conditions these guys went through. Now, we're driving through pretty harsh terrain and in air-conditioned comfort, whereas they were on foot with horseback and camel and whatnot. And so, yeah, don't understand the conditions they went through, that's for sure. So this is said to be the dig tree, and obviously both of the blazes, as they call them, have grown over, and you can see them both there. I don't know why there's concrete in there, but obviously to keep the tree up. So that's a date one, and then there was a dig in the next one. And you can just sort of make out a bit of a blaze there. And then there was said to be one in this tree as well. Can't tell where. So 1860 is 160 years ago, if my maths serves me well, and these trees have lasted that long. Who knows how old they were before that even. Quite impressive. So this is the third tree that's at the site here, and it's got a face in it. It's pretty well done, and it was apparently done in 1898 by photographer John Dick as a memorial to Burke. 1898. So that one's preserved quite well. It looks cool. Yeah. This is the rough track of Arrowberry Road, open to four-wheel drive with caution, and my windscreen's dirty, so that's why it's not showing up real good. over in the distance as well, and even more so over there as well. Might have to excuse the wind. We're approximately halfway along the Araburi Road, and it's just nothing, pretty much. There's a few trees dotted around, and there's the road, and then there's rocks. So excuse the wind again, but we're here at Haddon Corner, the corner that marks the edge of South Australia. So we're in South Australia. We've got a quarantine for 14 days now because of COVID. Oh, we're back in Queensland and we're okay. Haddon Corner.
So here's Dale at Haddon Corner, getting his name into the Haddon Corner book. And yeah, so that's across to South Australia. And the rest is Queensland. It's sandy soil, so it dries out pretty fast. good that we didn't have to stay at Haddon Corner for a week.
So left to Birdsville, 220 k's, or right to Windorah, which will be the way that we go out, I do believe. Wow, that's some differences, eh? We just knocked 7 k's off, 215 k's to Birdsville now.
Yeah.
Turn the corner. Pretty windy, skews the wind. Well, we're at Dion's Lookout, which marks the edge of the Diamantina Shire as well. But there's this little monument erected to Dion Burke, who was killed in a helicopter accident when he was 20 years old in 1996. So it says, "Peace to all travellers who share this view." And it's quite the spectacular view. We're at the Batuta Hotel, not far from Birdsville, and they got a cool old vintage car here. There's another one over there as well. I think we might need to have a beer. Just stopped not far from Batuta at the Rainbow Serpent. It's a rock and gravel formation in the side, not natural of course, in the side of a hill. Pretty interesting. We're on the road into Birdsville, still more than 100 k's to go. Not sure exactly how many, but the road's pretty good. Some of it's as good as the Bruce Highway, and then some of it's as bad as the Bruce Highway as well. We've just gone past a grader and a roller operator and what we thought was a water truck, and they seem to be doing a very good job. It's also getting more and more very deserty. There's a few dunes in places. Yeah, not much in way of trees to speak of either. Walk across the road, don't dilly dally.
This is actually quite a high sand dune, this one.
pulled into Birdsville this afternoon today and set up camp at the Birdsville Caravan Park. We could have camped out of town on the Diamantina River, but $20 for a shower isn't bad when you're still on the Diamantina River. So this is our camp, not a campsite. Thankfully we don't have to use those, but our little tent set up as well as a few other campers.
So here we are after a little lunch of Birdsville curried camel pies and what were they, Bushman's Roo kangaroo pie, and we're heading west towards Big Red, the big dune that everybody wants to have a look at, maybe try and drive up. And you can see we're sort of really into desert dune country, and there's these big pretty much north-south running dunes, and yeah, we'll go and have a gander. Heading along, and here we come. We're going to do a road crossing across the sand hill, which is a piece of cake because it's a good road, be it all dirt. See, it's just up and over and leave the sand hill behind. This is Little Red, as the sign says, if you can see it when we're going up and down, which is pretty rough. Sorry, this is going to be a bit of a jerky movie. Right, we're gonna have a go at Big Red. Here we go. I don't think there's such a thing as a good video at this, because if it's on, you're in the car, you're gonna bounce around. Been vehicles over this just recently, and yet look, the sand drifts have just taken away the wheel tracks. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? No, she bogged down. So we had to go at two different tracks. Now this is the one we came down. Hope we have some luck here, otherwise we're heading back to Little Red, I guess.
I am on top of Big Red, the last dune in the Simpson Desert crossing, if you're crossing west to east. And just getting up to the higher point, you might be able to see back over there the vehicles. This is the first one. We've sat there and enjoyed the sunset from on top of Big Red. We've just left Birdsville. This is the Diamantina River on the way out of town. We're heading towards Quilpie today, Roma tomorrow, and home on Saturday. Emergency airstrip that is nice to drive on after you've been on kilometres of dirt and gravel. We're just not far from Arrowbury Road, so we're still about 80 kilometres from Windorah, and the change in the vegetation has been pretty noticeable perhaps, but there's still signs that we're on the edge of a desert with the occasional sand dune and just big flat rocky plains as well.
We're crossing Cooper's Creek, and we're just east of Windorah. It's quite a wide floodplain, so it could be very wide when it comes to a flood time.
We've just climbed Baldy Top Knob, I think it was. Baldy Top Hill or something like that. We're just outside of Quilpie. You can kind of make Quilpie out in the, I can't zoom in, but Quilpie's just over there. That's where we're going to stop for the night. Roma tomorrow night, and then home the night after that. So there might be some more video to come. There might not be. There might be just some videos. Photos to come. But thanks for joining us on our journey to Birdsville. Don't bother liking and subscribing because it'll be more than 4 years before I make another video. But I do recommend getting out in South West Queensland and checking the place out, spending a bit of money at some small towns, stay in a caravan park, get yourself a decent four-wheel drive and be able to travel the roads around and go and see our country, because it's absolutely beautiful.